Welcome back. This is Steve Jackson's Sorcery. I think this game will be quite fun to play. Let's get started. It's the full edition I got on sale for the holidays. So it's on sale at the moment. So part 1, the Shamatani Hills. Okay, I got 2 options, which is the first option. You have walked the wilds of Kahabad through Kerry and the spiteful Balklands all the way into Mapong. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods, and now it is here, the crown of kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Chalana, the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. I take it. Your destiny awaits. With the crown in your hands, you will be as powerful as Chalana. The goblins are arming, the giants are awakening, and the birdmen carving cruel daggers from stone. War will come, but you will prevent it. But then, the image of the crown begins to flicker. You rush forward. It's a trap. And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. I think you might want to upgrade your mic quality. How? I'm going to change some settings. Okay, maybe accessories. There's no video. Oh, okay. Maybe it's in accessories. Oh, there it is. Okay, is that good?
I wouldn't be able to tell. You have to be in the game. The problem was I couldn't hear you over the music.
I see. Okay, going on.
I could barely hear you over the music.
Okay, can you hear my voice? Let's see. Oh wow, that's all the options. Well, I did up it a little bit, so it should be louder.
Well,
Okay.
I guess you can't make it louder. So the only way to make it louder would be
It is sunrise. You dress, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. So I can test the blade, pray for luck, or leave the hut. Let's test out the blade. You pause to test the blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. I'll pray for luck. Take a moment more, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning it has the form of a panther, but what will become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Time to go. Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. So you press R1 to draw a path to a flag. Okay, I see. So that's your choice. Let's see, we got stamina, gold, rations. Pressing R3 is center. Okay, let's go there. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamantanti wall. The frontiers people of Tiny Settlement are well aware of your mission. I'll greet them. You turn to them and bow. Some smile and reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they believe you are cursed. A man is waiting on the path to the Cantopani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakahabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster warriors. He holds out his hand. Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You are almost ready, he says. I have for you a gift from the king, 24 gold pieces. It is all we can spare this time. He holds out the patch. So I think we're gonna take half of it. You take the bag, count out half the coins and return the rest. The king will need them should I fail. You declare. You chose a harder path. But I respect you for it, the Sightmaster replies. You must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. and should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. And he points with his staff towards the training ground. Let's see. Scroll left and right to review your story so far. Press X to rewind. Do you wish to rewind your story at your current location? Ah, cool. So I do the grading still. I think I'll still take half of it. Maybe there's something to come from it if I only take half the gold. Oop. How do I... Okay, it's R1. So let's see, my items. So weapons, sword, treasure, 12 gold pieces. So that's the inventory. Let's go to the training ground. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather. Ready my sword. To begin, the sergeant says, we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Choose your attack power by dragging your character sideways. To defend, stay fully left. I see. So I have...
If you go all the way to the right and use up all your power, then you'll have less power on the next round. So think about that when you're using your power. But he says right here, defend.
Okay, I'll defend. Defend. The Sight Master is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sight Master Sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. I will now defend myself, he says. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. You should choose a weak attack. Select a weak attack, move your character a small distance to the right of the defending stance. So a weak attack's probably like 1 damage. Your swing was a weak attack. Rushing for the Sightmaster Sergeant who is defending. Good choice. A stronger attack would have wasted more of your power. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. If you can perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise you had best defend yourself. So for a strong attack, pull your character to the right, and then this is defend. So let's do a lunge. The Sightmaster Sergeant performs a strong attack. He overpowers your own strong attack. This situation causes maximum damage. Avoid strong attacks unless you are confident of winning. My next attack will be of medium strength, he declares. You may be able to overpower me if you wish to try. To attack, pull your character to the right. So I have to do more than he is. So cut. The Sightmaster Sergeant performs a medium attack, but your attack is weaker, so you are hurt. You will suffer more damage because you left yourself so undefended. If you think you will be overpowered, you should play smaller attacks or defend. My next attack will be weak, he declares. However, you have left little power, so you should defend yourself and rebuild your power. Okay. So now I can only go 1.8. So now we'll defend. So it rounds up the damage.
He just does 1 damage when you defend him.
Okay.
That's how it works.
So defending is really useful. Okay, so now attack him. Cut. You make a medium attack, going for the Sightmaster Sergeant, who raises his defense. Remember, playing weak attacks saves your power for the next round. My next attack will be low. You should defend yourself. Okay, I'll defend. He raises his defense, but says nothing. Okay, now let's do a large attack.
You're wasting your attack buff.
Oh,
You're only supposed to, if he's defending, you should only go with a light. Because no matter how much power you put into it, you only do 1 damage. That's what he's trying to teach you.
okay, I see. I thought maybe I could do extra damage.
You see his stamina, his life is up in the top right corner.
Okay.
Only done 3 damage. You get extra damage only if he is attacking and you attack for more than.
So now I could just do a small attack and that will do 1 damage, right?
It should. It said prepare to defend.
Oh, it did. Okay, pay attention.
Now, it's not going to be like this when you're fighting regularly. The enemy's not going to tell you if they're attacking or defending.
It will tell the attack power though, right?
No. Not until after the attack.
Oh. Okay.
So, you see, he used 5.6, which means I think the max is 9 at the moment, right? So he only has 3.4 power, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
If you think about that.
So if I defend, I only took 1.
Yeah, 6.1.
Pay attention to your stamina at the top. When this reaches 0, you are dead. Right. So now he can't do as strong of an attack, right?
Yeah, he did a big attack last.
So now I can do a big attack to him, and he is going to be defending. So actually I could do a small attack.
He's not going to be defending. He says my next attack will be a low one. He's not defending.
Okay.
He's attacking.
So I need to beat his score.
The higher you beat his score, the more damage you do. When he's attacking, for any amount, the more damage you do, the more damage you do. I know it's confusing, but basically, if he chooses to not attack, you can only do 1 damage to him. If he is attacking at all for anything, and you do more damage to him, you are going to do damage.
Okay, so if I just full on.
The more power you put into it, the more damage you get out of it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing, I know.
So if I do this now, him. Yep. You have finished me. Excellent. 11 stamina lost. Shameful. Okay, try again. And now I see it regenerate my life. Okay, so to start, want to defend. So make a strong attack now. But not
Hold on, it's make a strong attack.
by pulling your character to the right.
The more you put into it, the more damage you're going to get out of it.
Okay. So let's attack. So I did 2 that time. Overpowering a weak attack is easy, so you should aim to use little power as possible.
Now you're running low on power, but if you would have attacked fully,
I might not.
he might get through.
Okay, so I'll defend. Weak attack is good opportunity. to overpower your opponent if you can. Just select a weak attack. Just move small distance. So it's just kind of like the stamina bar like in Dark Souls.
Yeah, kind of. It really is.
So, let's do 1 damage. He chose to defend. Good choice. A strong attack will have wasted more of your power. The enemy's stamina is on top. If this reaches 0, you have won the fight. Okay, so that could mean he's using a strong attack though, because he has a whole bunch of stamina now. So I'll defend. So now he's used a lot of stamina. Now I could do a whole bunch of damage to him.
You could only do a whole bunch of damage if he was also attacking. Like, if he defended, your 8.4 would only be 1 damage. But it worked out.
But if the enemy were able to do more
because
damage,
they had 1 stamina left anyway.
Like if they had a bigger stamina bar than you do, then that could be quite dangerous.
Yeah. But remember, you're a mage, so...
Oh yeah, mage. Okay, let's continue.
So this is like secondary to you using magic. But you don't have to. You could probably, I'm guessing maybe there's even a trophy for just going through that.
To not use any magic at all.
But I doubt that.
It's very cool. It's like Slay the Spire, but...
Exactly. No cards,
no cards.
And I don't know that it's random. I think it's like, it's fixed. But because there's so many choices, it kind of is a random situation. You don't know what's going to happen next.
It's like a choose your adventure.
Exactly.
Which is, for those who don't know, it's a book that you like start reading it and then you choose an option. Depending on what option you chose, will put you to the next like certain page. So like you chose to go left and turn to page 28, and the page was actually 2. Something like that. Okay, continue. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says, breathlessly. Good. Another round? Ah, so it gave me my stamina back. Okay, enough training. You shake your head. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish a bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where there is space for a true match. Also, you can find him again. So let's collect my spellbook. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emits from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in different locations in the hills and beyond. Let's go inside. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes, and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use it? He asks. Tell me. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of the 3 stars, he begins. The spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Aegis, and Piney, but that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called, and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Force will create a force field around you. Shall I continue? Tell me more. The mage nods. The law spell is formed from Lilith, Agios and Wex, and it will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The Wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You will find the rest in the book. Yeah, it's tapping the leather-bound volume. I want to know more. The mage looks surprised. Well, the spell is useful for locks. Walk will shield you in battle. Dumb will cause clumsiness. He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus. An item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know what. Research magic using the spellbook button on the map. So you need some items for spells. So it might help if I write these down. So I'm gonna write them down. Because there might become a time where I'm not sure what the spell does. And that will be making things complicated. So Zap is lightning. Hot is fireball. Wolf is a force field. Law is control. Oh, lost my place there. Control of unintelligent creatures. And wall is invisible barrier. I wonder if I can use any of these abilities.
So you can look at your book on the map.
Oh, almost done.
You're not.
Oh.
I did what you're doing, and I've got a note card front and back listed. But yeah, you're gonna need that paper.
Ah, so it is useful to write them down. Nah, thank you. Let's see, got down.
It's better to go through the book.
Yeah, I'll probably wasting my time writing them here. Okay, let's continue. So, map. Triangle. Okay. Sorcery Spellbook. This volume contains the 48 spells of high craft as discovered and passed down from generation to generation of sorcerers from the earliest days of the Eastern world. Each spell is formed of 3 letters, and each spell will take energy to cast. Furthermore, some spells will fail without the use of particular items or focus. If you learn only 6 Oh, the 6 most useful spells. If you learn only 6 spells for your adventure, learn these. Zap creates a lightning bolt from the fingertip. Wolf creates a protective force field. Law enables non-intelligent creatures to be controlled. Dumb makes creatures extremely clumsy. Hot creates a fireball which can be aimed at enemies. And Wall creates an invisible wall. All these spells are extremely tiring and will cost you 3 points of stamina. More economical versions exist, though some really rely on the spellcaster's own particular items of power. Okay, so Zap is 3 stamina. An extremely powerful weapon. This spell creates a blast of lightning which shoots from the caster's hand. It is effective against virtually all living creatures without a magical defense, but it takes a great concentration to use. Hot, 3 stamina. The spell creates a fireball which can be thrown by the caster towards a target. The fireball will cause severe burns on impact, but that will then quickly extinguish. Fluff, 3 stamina. This powerful spell creates a physical barrier in front of the caster, which is capable of keeping out all intruders. The resulting force field is both extremely strong and flexible. Wall, 3 stamina. The casting of the spell creates an invisible wall in front of the caster. This wall is impervious to all missiles, creatures, or other magical objects. Hence, it is a very defensive spell. Law, 3 stamina. Casting this spell at a non-intelligent attacking creature allows the caster to take control of the attacker's will for a short time. The attacker will cease and the creature will immediately come under the control of the caster. Dumb, 3 stamina. When cast at a creature holding an object, such as a weapon, this spell will make the creature clumsy and uncoordinated. It will drop the object, fumble and pick it up, and drop it again. Nice. Let's see. So I'm going to write down the stamina use. So that's that, 3 stamina. Hot, which is also 3 stamina. Both. Let's see, was Law 1? Yep. Wall. And done. Okay. Got that. Big. 1 stamina. When this spell is cast on the caster's own body, it will inflate the body to 3 times its normal size. This increases the power of the caster and is especially useful against large opponents, but must be used with caution and in confined spaces. Oh, so if you were to use this spell in a small area, you'd probably end up hurting yourself. Thanks. You big. Don't use in small area. Walk. 1 stamina. Requires 1 gold piece. Also uses your money. This spell requires a gold coin, which is placed on the caster's wrist. When the spell is cast, it will transform into an invisible metal shield, but the coin will be lost. So, metal shield. Stop. Stamina, 0. This spell may be used to open any locked door. Casting the spell works directly on the locked tumblers, and the door may be opened freely. If the door is bolted from the inside, the bolts will be undone. The spell will not work on doors sealed by magic. Oh, this is something else. Okay, right, okay. So I should write down that is 0. Don't have to worry about it. It's a good one to remember, though. Raz. Requires beeswax. To perform this spell, beeswax is required. By rubbing the wax on any bladed weapon and casting the spell, the blade becomes razor sharp and do at least double its normal damage. The beeswax? It is Raz. Okay. Sus. 1 stamina. This spell may be cast when the caster suspects a trap, and it will indicate telepathically to the caster the danger and best protective action. If already trapped, this spell may be used to minimize the effects of certain cases. Sus is going to be really useful. Okay. That doesn't require anything nice. 6. 1 stamina. This spell is cast onto the caster's own body and creates multiple images of the caster, all capable of casting spells and attacking. Each will perform identical actions, and most creatures will be unable to tell which is the real figure. Okay. Jig. Requires a bamboo flute. When cast, the recipient will get an uncomfortable urge to dance. The caster can make any creature dance merry jigs by playing a small bamboo flute. thereby exhausting a creature or providing time to escape. Gob requires a goblin's tooth. This creation spell requires any number of teeth of goblins. This spell may be cast onto these teeth to create 1, 2, or an army of goblins, who may be commanded to fight an enemy or perform any other duties. Yob requires a giant's tooth. Casting the spell requires a tooth of a giant, and when cast, will summon a new giant whom the caster may control. The giant, maybe I said may wrong. The giant will disappear when duty is done. Gum. Casting the spell on a vial of goo will cause the glue to become super sticky, sufficient to stick creatures to the floor or to walls by throwing the vial at a creature's feet, or by resting it on top of a door so that it falls when the door is opened. How? 1 stamina. This spell is to be used in perilous situations when information about the safest way to escape is desired. The caster will receive a psychic inclination towards one route or a means of defense if one is present. Okay, I'll write this one down. Now, I don't think I'll have all these spells. I'm not sure of that. Okay. Doc requires a medicinal potion. Medicinal potions will, while this spell is active, heal any creature who drinks them. The potion may be used by the caster, but will not bring a being that has actually died back to life. Doze. 1 stamina. This spell may be cast upon any creature, reducing its movements and reactions to about a sixth of its normal speed. Thus, the creature appears to move as in a dream sequence, making it much easier to evade or defeat. Dead. 1 stamina. By casting this spell, this caster can create an illusion of treasure. Gold pieces, silver coins, gems, and jewels can be craved at the will and used to distract, pay, or bribe creatures. Illusionary riches will disappear as soon as the caster is out of sight. Mage. 1 stamina. This spell protects its caster from most magic. It must be cast quickly and works by neutralizing the attacking spell. This spell is thus a very powerful protective weapon. I've got a lot still. Lots of them take specific items though, so they're not going to be used. Pop. Potential little spell, but one which calls forth a great mental concentration. This spell must be cast on small pebbles, which will then explode when thrown. These explosions produce great force as well as a loud bang. Fall. This spell is useful if the caster is caught in a pit trap or falls from a considerable height. When the caster it makes the caster's body as light as a feather. The caster will float down through the air and land gently on the ground. Dim. Oops. A good defensive spell, this can be cast at any attacking creature to muddle its mind. However, it must be handled with caution, as a deranged creature may act unpredictably. Fog. 1 stamina. This spell may only be cast in closed rooms with no windows. Once cast, the room turns pitch black in the eyes of all but the caster, even though torches and candles may still be burning. Therefore, nearby creatures will be temporarily blinded. Mud. While casting, the caster must sprinkle grains of sand onto the floor to create a pool of quicksand. Any creature stepping into the quicksand will slowly be sucked away. Niff. Requires nose plugs. This spell causes the air to fill with a nauseating stench, so vile that any creature catching a whiff will need to vomit. This includes the caster, unless they are wearing nose plugs. The effect is more pronounced on creatures with large noses. Tell. To activate the spell, the caster must wear a cloth skull cap. The user may then read the mind of any intelligent creature nearby, learning its weaknesses and learning its weaknesses, the contents of nearby rooms, and other such details. So I'm only writing down a few of them. Like, some of these seem very specific, and I won't even be able to use it until I get the item. But it's good to know what I have, because if I don't write them down, then I might want to know. I'm not sure if I can open this up later. Guk. Casting the spell while wearing a black face mask will create a terrible fear within another's mind. Brave creatures will suffer a cold sweat, while coward ones will be reduced to cowering jelly. Sap. The effect of the spell, which is only useful in combat, is to demoralize an opponent so that its will to win is lost. Any creature so demoralized will be easier to defeat, though victory is still not certain. God. When this spell is cast, any creature or humans nearby will take an immediate liking to the caster, and will offer aid and information. This illustration spell can only be performed if the caster is wearing a jewel of gold. Kin. Requires a gold-backed mirror. In battle, a gold-backed mirror must be pointed at the creature when the spell is cast. An exact replica of the enemy will then be created under the caster's control. However, should either creature die, both will disappear. Huh. Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Pep. A potion of fire water taken while the caster is casting the spell will give the caster double or triple the normal strength. The effects are temporary, but usually last long enough to aid in battle or enable some feat of super strength. Rock. Special stone dust must be thrown at a creature as the spell is being cast, within seconds. The intended victim will petrify, becoming a gray stone statue. Yep. The caster must cast a spell on his or her own body. The caster will then become exceedingly quick, and may run, speak, think, or fight at 3 times normal speed. However, this spell requires the caster to sniff yellow powder before casting. Huff. This spell is cast on the Gelhorn, a trumpet-like instrument with a discordant note, causing the horn to create a tremendous wind. The wind is capable of blowing over man-sized creatures, but can also blow things off, shells, over ledges, and the like. Fix. Applicable to both animate and inanimate objects, this spell has the effect of holding an opponent or object in one place, even in midair, until the caster leaves the vicinity. A staff of oak sapling is required. Nap. Effective only against living creatures. This spell causes them quickly to fall asleep. It is used to conjunction with a brass pendulum. The spell concentrates the creature's attention on the pendulum, which the caster must swing slow to and fro. Zen. In order to cast the spell, the caster must wear a jeweled, studded medallion around the neck. Casting the spell will then allow the caster to float in the air. A magician may hover for as long as desired and may float around at will. That's kind of neat. Also, reading these will help remind me, because I don't think I will write them down. Unless I get the skill or item. I just noticed they all have, like, grayed out things, so that probably will glow if I have the spell. Let's see. Let's actually go back real quick. Oh yeah, sap. Looks like I have. And fog. Okay. So Howline can do doze and dud. Fall, dim. I might actually want fall. Let's write that one down. Dim is a good one too. Let's see. Actually, no. Maybe not. It has a bad effect. Sap is good though. Not sap. Sorry. Fall. Is good though. Okay, where was I? Yaz. Casting the spell while wearing a pearl ring will render the caster invisible to any reasonable intellect creature. Less intelligent creatures will only be partially convinced, partially convinced, and creatures with ears will still be able to hear the caster when they move. Okay, so it makes you invisible. But creatures who are listening will still know where you're at. Sun. This spell will only be cast upon the yellow sun jewel. Once cast, the jewel will glow either brilliantly to dazzle attacking creatures, or just bright enough to act as a torch. Kid. While wearing a bracelet of bone, the caster of this spell can concentrate on a particular illusion, and the illusion will become brittle to others. However, affected creatures must be intelligent, and the caster must not act counter to the illusion. Or dispel the illusion, probably. Oh, I have the last spell. Wrap. To use the spell, the caster must be wearing green hair wig. In conjunction with the wig, the spell will allow the caster to understand the language of and communicate with creatures speaking a non-human tongue. Yap. This spell allows the caster to understand the languages of and communicate with most animals. It will be ineffective unless the caster is wearing a green hair wig. Huh. So it's the same spell. Yep. The spell enables the caster to teleport a short distance. Transportation can occur through soft materials such as wood and clay, but not through stone or metal. The spell requires ring of green metal from crag and rock, but is somewhat unreliable and can have disastrous results. Far. In conjunction with an orb of crystal, the spell will enable its caster to see in a little way into the future. The orb must be held in the hands, and very little control can be exercised on exactly what will be seen. Rest. When cast upon a dead humanoid, sprinkle with holy water. This spell will bring the corpse back to life. Resurrection takes some time and will leave the creature dull and dozy, though it may still answer questions. An ex-corpse can be killed again as normal. Zed. This is the most formidable spell in lore, but no one knows why. In all record history, this spell has been cast only once by a powerful necromancer from Throben, who was never seen again. Its effects are unknown. The necromancer's notes were found, but were crazed and unclear. Treat with extreme caution. I'm writing the spell down. Okay, let's buy some rations. Small traders in the settlement supply the Sightmaster warriors with weapons, armors, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbreads and cheese. Two gold pieces per ration, the owner says. You can haggle? Okay. Let's buy more. You check your pack. There's room for plenty inside. I'll take 6. I'll give you that for 10, the man says. Oh, nice. So he's giving me a little bit of deal. You hand over your coins. The man places 6 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day, or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but it is not necessary. Check the contents of your pack by using the items button on the map. So this is the items, some rations. Don't think I should eat yet. That's where the spell book is. Okay, now let's fight in the yard. You head over to the yard to practice a bout of real fighting. The sergeant removes the cloth padding from the base of his staff. Unsheathe my sword. This time I will not tell you my intentions, he says. You have to ready them for yourself. Be ready. Okay, let's defend. The Sightmaster bows at you, raises his staff in salute, and takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The Sightmaster is not to be trifled with. The Sightmaster Sergeant comes in with a tough blow, bouncing his strength and his impact. He shifts his grip to hold his staff more loosely. He seems to be preparing a simple jab. A chance to overpower him, perhaps? Let's just use all of it. 3 damage. He only did 1 to me. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but his own move is fast and careful, and he is able to parry the very worst of the strike. You catch him deep in the side, his tunic reddens. He feints left. Okay, now let's defend. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow sails over your head. You see his arm grow tense. He is ready for a strong attack. Okay, defend again. You hold firm and keep your distance as he powers forward you with a cry. It only tires him out. You escape most uninjured. You see his grip change on the heel of his staff, and he raises himself to strike again. Okay, now I've got strike with strike all the way. Oh, I got him! Acting quick, you sweep your sword across his body with powerful force. It is enough to finish him. The Sight Master throws down his staff. You have me, he declares with a grin. 3 stamina loss. Decent dueling. Continue. The sergeant is gasping for breath. He bows to you once more. Very good, he nods. Though you will need to protect yourself. Bear out there. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with a salve, and your health and the sergeant's is quickly restored. That's nice. Okay, all that's left is to approach the gate. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you, but you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the dot spell to be crafted, and he stands back. Cast your spell. Select the layers to find the spell. Okay, so dop. D O P. Opens locks and doors. Requires 1 stamina. So can I back out? Just testing out. Let's see zap. Okay. And cast. You read the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn, with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. I fear he is dead. I am sure he is dead. The Sightmaster nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He stands back from you. Enter the gate. Together you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. I understand. I will not wish you a safe journey to Gaher, for the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs, as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible power of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Tell me what lies ahead. This path leads first to Cantopian, a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to Kristanti, but no single route is safe. Kakhabad is a land of devils. And beyond Kahari? I cannot see so far, he says, but once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the Baklands. They say that day and night they are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Care too, your progress will be watched. It is time to go. Striding away, you pass through the gate. The faces of folk watching your departure watching your departure reveal the hopes and that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Into Kakhabad. The path winds through slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by cawing of occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. They make you uneasy, as if you were an intruder in their presence. Keep walking. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shama Tanti hills are infested with pestilence of the Baklands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Let's cover my mouth. You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warn you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here. But for the moment you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina has just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. If this reaches 0, you'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained up to maximum by eating rations or resting. Oops. So I have 2 options. Travel cross-country or a low rise. Let's eat some rations. That's not rations, that's a sword. Eat. Okay. Oh, that didn't do anything. Oh, I thought I could increase it. Oops. Let's see. Do you wish to rewind? Yeah, let's rewind. Let's cover my mouth. Let's not make too many mistakes. I'm not sure. So using rations will heal your stamina, but not increase it. So let's go to a low rise. Another hour passes, and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downward into a small settlement of huts. This must be Cantopani. Let's look at the village. From a distance it is hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few penned animals are thin and weazened like thirsty vines. No wonder, said the sightmaster, warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There is nothing here to protect. Okay, let's go to the village. Of course, if you were scared of a town like Cantopani, then you could not hope to survive in Kakhabad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of a hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants. But then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. Look at him. So I could either threaten him, push him out of the way, cast a spell, or look at him. I'll do the less mean thing, I think. He is 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has thick-set arms and thighs and is half clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. Halt, stranger, he commands. What business have you in Cantopani? I'll ask for directions. I need directions. To where, he demands. I'm on my way to Care, you say. I have myself never left this village, the man declares with pride, although I can tell you there are 2 paths ahead, but my advice is not free. You must have money on you. For 2 gold pieces, I'll tell you what I know. I'll pay your fee, you reply, handing over 2 coins. The man takes the money gratefully with a nod and hides it away in a pouch at his waist. I am glad to help you, traveler, he says. Know that beyond Kentomani there are 2 ways. The low path leads through the Vale of Elven, and unless you are ready for elven ways, for they are mischievous and magical, you had better avoid it. The highway, and he gestures upwards with a hand, will take you into the hills and past the Scancher mines. Lots of treasure there, they say, but you must keep your head if you take this path. And he laughs. Why do you laugh? There is something you're not telling me. The man doesn't reply, other than to draw a finger slowly across his throat. Tell me what you mean. Or what happens after the mines? I'll ask this one. What happens after the mines? Head on to Tanti, he answers cautiously. You'll be there in a day or 2. Few villagers here in the Shamartanti hills welcome strangers, but the Kristatanti, you will at least find food and shelter, and beware the black lotus on your travels. Its sweet aroma is deadly. I thank you. You reply with a bow. The man bows in return. You move on into the village. You stride on into the very cultured village. Not culture. Sorry. Center of the village. There are a few large houses here. Even Kentopani has its nobility, it seems. But the only spot of interest is the small inn offering food for sale. Well, I can't buy anything because I don't have any gold, but let's enter the inn. You head inside. The place is just a low table and a black iron pot above the stove. A woman watches you with wide, fearful eyes. You greet the woman. Greetings, you declare. Bowing slightly to the woman, the gesture appears to make her more afraid, not less. How much are your provisions? 1 gold piece for the stew, she replies in a thin, hungry voice. But perhaps you want some food to take with you, seeing how you're a traveler. I'll decline both. No, thank you, you reply. The tavern is not worth your time. It is too meager to offer much hospitality. You head out of Kentopani and along the path into the Shamatanti hills. Striding past the outlying huts, you see the villagers rushing indoors to hide. Then, at the edge of the town, you pass a large boulder, and at once 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other. So hand over your things. Come on. I'll reason with them. You don't want any trouble, you declare. The first bandit edges forward. a sword tickling at your chest, running you through, no trouble at all, the pack. I defend myself. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. You will suffer for that mistake. The bandits growl and advance on you, one on either hand. Okay, let's cast a spell. Let's cast. Let's see here. I want to cast Zap. Okay, I might not be able to cast Zap here. Hot. Fog does not work here. Well, I could cast Force Field. Let's do that. That'll help. Create a Force Field. Of course, we stem. Cast. You cast the spell, raising an invisible force field all around you. Try as they might, the bandits cannot harm you. They cannot even get close. Realizing the power of your sorcery, they quickly flee back to the village. This is a stroke of luck, as the force field does not last long. You continue along the path, leaving the village behind. About half an hour later, you reach the start of the climb into the hills. Proper and continue upwards. That is so cool. I avoided the fight because I cast a force field. Into the hills. Leaving Kantapani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Kjær, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The Bachlands and long shadow cast by Mampang Fortress darken everything. And with the crown gone, and with the crown stolen, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Chalana, the reformer, founded the alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead, but no more Ruddlestone, Lendoland, Galantaria, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power, but not Analand. But when the crown came to Analand, it was stolen by birdmen from Jaman and carried off to Mamping. With the crown, the Archmage will be unstoppably powerful. There is no chance of sending an army against him. A military force would not survive the journey. So here you are, a lone hero, walking the long path, Mampang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. This is just as the villager described, so at least your coins were not wasted. Okay, let's take the fork in the road. The rock splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin onto the other side. The left path winds down into the valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forests of the woods. Let's look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing. Eventually you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. Look left. You pause to consider the lower route. There is a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is a safer route. You secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you were almost backtracking. You are about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand. So I can either ignore it, a trap, time to move on, or look around. Let's look around. Maybe we can help them. You look around, then finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, closed feet are dangling down over your head, about to drop on you, perhaps? Who's there? You call. The voice cries again, a little more boldly this time. Up here! Oh, I can't get down! It is the voice of a feeble, wiry old man. Stepping back a little, you can see him clearly, as thin as sticks and dressed in dirt rags. Okay. So you can help him down. What are you hiding from? And leave him, he's worthless. Okay, let's help him down. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branches of the tree, you reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks, Brat, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting there to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. What will you do now? Or I could ask, what do I get in return? Or leave him and move on? That's the first one. What will you do now, you ask? Keep going for Anlad, he says. Oh, keep going for Anlad, he says. That's where I set off from. Well, back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out to Mampang, and you'd better be smart than I was. And here, he presses a page into your hand. It is a page torn from a spellbook. This might be of some use to you. Found this just found it, mind, and don't go asking how. But it's no good to me anymore. Okay, I'll look at the page. You look at the page over suspiciously. It seems to be half of a spell. CA. That might have been used for pest repulsion, but is unworkable in its current state. Keep it. You take the page and thank him. The man falls quiet and squats down onto the ground. With this jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. Oh, I could get ingredients from the beehive. Climb up and investigate. So I have that one written down. It's Raz. Makes blades do double. So let's climb up and investigate. Leaving the old man sighing with gratitude on the ground, you climb up through the branches of the tall tree. Continue. To the beehive. The beehive hangs like a ripe fruit from the very highest branch. A huge number of bees dance it in and out in a swarm. Let's climb. Let's actually see. Oh, maybe I could use Fireball. Oh, I had an idea. You get your bounce enough to cast to free your hands for a spell. Cast a spell. Let's see, I'm gonna cast Big. Requires 1 stamina. Cast. You cast the spell, swelling quickly to 3 times your normal size. The bees swarm angrily around you, but you can barely feel their stings. As you reach into the tree and pluck the hive like an apple, cracking it open, you extract a rich honeycomb and a lump of beeswax, which you roll up into a ball. Goodness me. Oh no, goodness me, the old man remarks. Wish I'd had you around when the elvins were after me. That would have shown 'em. The spell fades, and you shriek back to normal size, and drop to the ground. You stash your hands in your pack. The light is fading. It's time to move on. Oh, the man cries suddenly. Do you want to hear me riddle? I heard it from the elves. Hear him out. You gesture with a hand for him to speak. See him, though he sees you not. A stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. They call a witch of luck bereft. You thank him, you nod once, then turn your attention to the path ahead. So you see him through, though he sees you not. A stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. To goal a witch of luck bereft. Huh. Okay, let's choose the high path. The high route seems the most secure in the valley. You can be easily observed from above and led astray, but out in the hills you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls it may be cold and exposed up on those slopes, but no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. You begin to climb, letting the old man jabbering fade quickly behind. Quickly away. The path winds up into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange-shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour walk, you are starting to feel hungry. Let's stop and eat. You clamber to the top of a low stone dolmen, then sit and pull out a sugary honeycomb and eat. Oh, I ate that? Hold on. I didn't want to eat that. I was thinking I was going to eat rations. Okay. How do I... You clamber to the top of a yes, I said that. The sugary honeycomb and eat, while admiring the view down the hillside through a break in the trees. You feel better for your rest. I didn't think I was going to be eating that. How do I go back? Yeah, it's rewind. Let's continue walking. Oh, I see. It gave me 2 health. But I didn't want to use that. I wanted to use that for the spell. Continue walking. You ignore your rumblings of your belly and keep up your pace. The climb continues, with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold and sun flickers onto the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full, and when twilight is done, it will be bright once more. Okay, so let's actually eat. 2 quantities. Yeah, I ate both of my things, so it was actually... Oh, hold on, I didn't look at that. Oh, I probably at least ate one of them. I can examine the spellbook. This page is torn through, and only half of the spell is visible. Okay, here we go. Oh, here it is, honeycomb. Okay. Honeycomb's not the same thing. Oh, it's just a ration. Okay. I see now. Let's go back. Let's actually do that. I'm glad I figured that out. So I will eat that. Stop and eat. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, on which you had been sitting to prevent any creatures getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues, with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold, and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full, and when twilight is done, it will be bright once more. Oops. Oh, you can rewind very far back if you want to. Huh, cool. Okay, now let's look at my items. Yeah, okay. I see now. Okay, let's keep walking. You are young and strong, and there will be plenty of nights later in your journey where you can catch up on sleep in a real bed. Reasoning that to sleep on hard earth would be almost as tiring as to walk. You walk. You will suffer for it physically, of course. So it is probably pretty good to rest, but I'm gonna continue on. The stars come out one by one above you, writing out the names of the spirits, including your own, the gorilla. You continue on your weary way. As you walk, you think of the crown. It calls you onwards already, even though you have never seen it. It is as if it knows your name and is waiting for you. Deep in the forests of Mampang, but does it summon you to rescue it and restore the balance of power to the Femfairy Alliance? Or does it summon you to your death and destruction to place a seal on the power of the Archmage? Continue. The next morning. The second day of your journey begins in the morning cool. You feel the presence of your spirit, the gorilla. Maybe it's gorilla. I think that makes more sense. Gorilla, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal diseases, lift curses, even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous, and decline to help often. You can ask the spirit's aid using the pray button. Okay, let's pray. Your spirit is the gorilla, the king of the great. Oh, okay, so it is gorilla. A creature of honor and good faith, who accepts both danger and misfortune as traveling companions without hesitation. A prayer to your spirit will heal you, but after a prayer your spirit will not hear you again for some time. Okay. Okay. So I did that. It healed me up. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of a hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground. Atop each pole is a head. Let's look at these heads. The heads are of all kinds of ages. Some are recently fixed, while others have decayed, and some are not but skulls and hair. They are human heads, goblin beards, and one or two heads of creatures you do not recognize. All have sewn-up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on the rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. But ahead, the road forks left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right path continues to climb, the left path winds down the side of the hill. Let's see. So the climb is to the mountains, which seemed safer at first, but the left side is to the elves. Okay, let's take the climb. Might be able to get some money. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you are not far from the top. Then the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Trampling feet, grunting voices, and clanking of metal against rock. There is something ahead, hidden by the ancient trees that line these slopes. Let's follow the sound. Or I could keep to the path. Let's investigate. You leave the path and continue through the woods. A short distance onwards you hide behind a tree and survey a clearing. A number of goblins are in the clearing, working at the mouth of an open cave. Oh, I see. I didn't read the whole thing. They trudge in and out of the opening, carrying large bowls in their arms, piled up with glistening rocks and dull metallic nuggets. So I can either watch them, leave them to it, or make a break for the cave entrance. This sounds dangerous. By entering the cave, they would end up, you end up putting yourself in a stuck position because there's going to be goblins behind you and goblins ahead of you. I could just leave, but let's watch them work. Get maybe an advantage by watching them. You stay hidden, getting a sense of the scale of the operation. There are at least 30 goblins inside the cave, each coming out every few minutes or so with a new pail of stones. Then there are other goblins working in the clearing with hammers, smashing the rocks into small pieces, extracting metals from inside, loading them into carts, and finally pushing the carts away down a wide track between the trees. It is quite some operation, but not without its weaknesses. There are too many goblins to create any kind of distraction, but they move away into the trees fairly often, and sometimes the cave is left unguarded. Now I have the advantage. I could possibly slip inside. Oh yes, let's try and slip inside to the cave. You creep closer, moving around the side of the hill near to the entrance of the cave. Then when all is quiet, you seize your chance and race across the clearing to the mouth of the cave. Let's enter the mine. As you pause a moment at the cave mouth, but no one has seen you, following the passage cautiously, you move between the cool rock walls of the mine, passing and ignoring ladders that lead down into the clamoring heart of the mine, where 100 goblins sing as they work. Eventually you reach a junction. Oh, do I go left or right? Let's go to the right. You follow the passage to the right. It twists around deeper into the hillside and ends in a sealed wooden door. So I could try the door, leave the cave, or go back to the other fork. Let's try the door. You try the door. Locked. I could either try breaking it down, or I can cast the simple spell they taught me. Let's cast the spell. Stop. Open locks and doors. Cast. You cast the spell. The door shudders as its lock turns over, and then the handle moves of its own accord. On your guard, you watch as it swings open. The room beyond is large and appears to be a storeroom of some kind. In one corner is a pile of black rocks, and more rocks are held in a bucket nearby. These flicker with a dull, glistening light, but most intriguing of all is what stands in the center of the space. A mechanical apparatus, perhaps a press or a stone cutter, being operated by a large and powerful ogre. An ogre? Yikes. He does not, for the moment, seem to have noticed you. I could either watch him, but then that might mean he sees what I'm up to, or approach him. Let's watch him work. Certain he has not noticed your sudden arrival in the room, you stay in the shadow and watch as the ogre goes about its task. He is dropping stones from the black pile into one end of the machine and turning a heavy handle, crunching the rocks. Something is coming out the other side. To see what you'd have to approach him, as he is between you and the outlet of the machine. Let's approach. Seems dangerous. Boldly you step out of the doorway and into the pool of candlelight that fills the room. The ogre stops working immediately and turns to face you, growling incomprehensible incomprehensibly, like the slug he is. You will not be able to reason with him. Okay. Cast a spell. Oh, let's do Raz. Or Raz. Where is it? Oh, it's R-A. Well, there's A, I think. Okay, I don't think I can cast it here. Draw your sword. The ogre lifts a giant hammer and stomps toward you. Seems like he's doing a heavy attack. Let's block. Oh. Not doing a heavy attack. Okay. For a huge beast, the ogre moves with surprising speed. Its hammer swings up like an executioner's sword. You raise your sword to cover your body and move back across the floor. As it tries to swat you like a fly with its enormous hammer, you are mostly unhurt. It raises its hammer up across its body defensively. So now it seems like I should do a little bit of damage. Because him defending will at least make me do 1 damage to him. Okay, stilling your courage, you move in, aiming to trap the ogre against the cave wall. You chase the ogre with a passing blow. It blocks your wind with his hammer. It is left breathless, but otherwise unarmed. It stumps back behind its machinery, ducking out of sight. Let's defend. Oh. I don't know where he's gonna attack. You drop down, protecting yourself. The ogre watches you. Stupidly, in return, it lifts its hammer. So I should have attacked then. At that point. Now I might want to defend. You stay low. The ogre spits and waits. It growls at you. Okay, maybe let's swipe at him. Oh man! You attempt an attack and suffer for it. The ogre raises its hefty hammer and brings it crushing down on you. Your own weak thrust is knocked aside. Its deep-set, stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. Let's see. I'm not sure how to cast a spell. I think I'm gonna risk a big attack here. Because now I might defend. Sweet. Taking a chance, you move forward. Readying your forced blow, you hurtle forwards. The ogre turns away as though not seeing the blow would stop it landing, but then you see its hide is tough leather, and you can barely scratch it. Okay, let's block this one. Sweet, defended it. Expecting a storm, you raise your guard as the ogre swipes its terrible hammer. You throw yourself to the wall. You are mostly unhurt. It rushes around a pile of slag rock, then peeks under one of the spigots. Okay, used up a ton of stamina now. I think it's going to defend. So let's attack for just a little bit of damage. Yes, that was the right option. Readying yourself, you move in. You wound the ogre with a worrying cut, hoping to make it waste its energy defending. The ogre defends staunchly. The ogre stumbles suddenly, crashing into the machine, which almost buckles under its weight. It sniffs the air. What's it gonna do? I think it's gonna attack. I didn't attack. You drop back, covering yourself, as the ogre jabs with its hammer. You step smartly aside. You are mostly unhurt. It flaps its jaws at you and stamps its feet. Okay, let's swing once. With a jab. Oh my goodness. You spy an opening, but misjudged. Grabbing you by the chest, the ogre throws you against the machinery. You are almost skewered on a spindle. You try to dodge, but are not fast enough. The enormous hammer almost crushes you. The ogre swings its hammer triumphantly up and gobbles with laughter. It hefts its hammer up across its body. Okay, now it's defending because it used up all of its stamina. Stilling your courage, you move forwards. You punish the ogre with a passing blow. The ogre holds up its hammer in front of its body. Its evil dark eyes are flowing you intently. Okay, now it's in with a giant blow. Sweet, I got him. Oh, I took a lot of damage though. You strike again, preparing a heavy swing. You charge for your opponent, then you swing again, and the sword cleaves into the ogre's side. He gurgles unhappily as he slumps to the floor. You breathe a sigh of relief. You are still alive. Should I retry? I might be able to save myself more. Let's see. Okay, let's hit him for a little bit of damage. Dang. now it should probably go for a block. For a huge beast... Oh, I said that, I think. Oh no, it has something different. For a huge beast, the ogre moves with surprising speed. Its hammer swings up like an executioner's sword. You swing to catch him a passing blow, as he retreats to swat you like a fly. With an enormous hammer, you stagger backwards into the machinery. It growls at you. Oh, last time it growled, it did a whole bunch of damage. Block. Yes, that was the right option. You drop down, protecting yourself. Just in time, the ogre raises its hammer above its head and attempts to crush you in a single blow. You escape by a hair's breadth. You are mostly unhurt. Its deep-set, stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. Okay, now I think it's defending. Dang, it didn't defend. I thought it was. You attempt to attack and suffer for it. The ogre swipes for you with its hammer. Your own weak thrust is knocked aside. The blow catches your arm, and you lose all feeling, almost dropping your sword. Okay, now let's just try out for all out. Let's hope it's not defending. Sweet, you didn't defend. Stilling your courage, you move in, aiming to trap the ogre against the cave wall. Raining a forceful blow, you hurl yourself. You hurl forwards. It turns away as though not seeing the blow would stop it landing, but you see its hide is tough leather. You can barely scratch it. It staggers against the cave wall. Let's attack. Oh my goodness. I'm doing worse this time. You spy an opening, but misjudge. Okay. I can hit heavy if it attacks for a small attack. Okay, let's attack. Sweet, I got him that time. Taking a chance, you move forward, preparing a heavy swing. You charge for your opponent. The ogre steps awkwardly aside. The ogre stumbles suddenly, crashing into the machine, which almost buckles under the weight. Cautious but angry, it stomps the dust with one enormous foot, growling. Let's defend. Expecting a storm, you raise your guard. As the ogre swipes its terrible hammer, you throw yourself to the wall. You are mostly unhurt. It raises its hammer up across its body defensively. Now it's attack. Readying yourself, you move in. You chase the ogre with a passing blow. The ogre blocks your blow with its hammer. It is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Its evil dark eyes are following you intently. Let's block. You drop back, covering yourself as the ogre jabs with its hammer. You step smartly aside. The damp dripping from the ceiling is mixed with the blood running down your arms and face. What to do? I think he's gonna attack for a big blow. Oh, we both defend. You stay low. The ogre watches you stupidly in return. It grumbles and groans. Let's see. So he hit me for a little bit of damage. You keep your defenses. As the ogre lunges, you turn the blow with your sword. You are mostly unhurt. Its deep, inky eyes are tracking you closely. Well, if it hits me now, even if I were to defend, it would kill me. So I could just charge at it. Let's see what happens. Stilling your courage, you move forwards, mustering a lumberjack blow. You lunge forward, then swing again, and the sword cleaves into the ogre's side. He gurgles unhappily as he slumps to the floor. You breathe a sigh of relief. You are still alive. 10 stamina loss. Shameful. I believe I lost 7 the first time. Okay. Let's block this attack. Oh. Okay, let's do a little bit of damage. It raises its hammer up across its body defensively. Okay, now let's defend. Oh, we both defend. You drop down, protecting yourself. The ogre watches you stupidly in return. It lifts its hammer. Okay, defend? One of these times he's gonna try and attack me with a big attack. You keep your defenses. The ogre growls, but doesn't attack. Its deep-set, stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. So okay, try and hit it with a big attack, and then maybe it will stun it. Do it. Sweet. Taking a chance, you move forward, raining your forceful blow, and you hurl it forwards. The ogre turns away. Okay. So it growls at me. That means he's probably gonna attack. Okay, it sniffs the air. Okay, I am going to attack it with a bigger blow. Then he can attack. Sweet, another 2 damage. You ready yourself. You move in, preparing a heavy swing. You charge for your opponent. The ogre steps awkwardly aside. The ogre stumbles. Okay. Cautious but angry, it stomps the dust with one enormous foot, growling. Let's defend. Good. Okay, I think I can take a risk here, maybe? Let's do it. Got him this time. He gurgles unhappily as he slumps to the floor. You breathe a sigh of relief. You are still alive. That was much better than the first 2 times. So in a way, even though it's in writing, it still is kind of like Dark Souls. Like you could end up like taking a whole bunch of damage or even dying, and then you fight it again. And you can kind of like learn its abilities and what it's planning on doing. Okay, let's continue. While the dying ogre heaves its last breath, you investigate the room. Let's search the table. Maybe I can get those rocks or gems that we're getting. You look through the heaps of rocks on the table. You see if any catch your eye, but they all seem fairly ordinary. I think that trying out the machine is going to make a loud noise. Let's do it last. Search the corners of the room. Moving to the corners of the room, you do a careful sweep. After a few minutes, you come across something soot-covered but solid. Wiping it with your tunic, you find it's a large gem, an emerald, about the size of your fist. It should be good for trade around the value of 10 gold pieces. You place it carefully into your bag. Sweet. Let's try out the machine. Going over the enormous machine, you try cranking the handle to see what happens, but you simply do not have the strength to make it move. Following the tubes and struts of the machine, you discover a second large gem, which you take. You search the room thoroughly now. It is time to be going, before someone comes to find the ogre. You head back to the fork in the passage. The sunlight from outside is very tempting. Okay, let's go left. Oops. The left fork. Your passageway continues until you reach a large stone-cut door, blocking your way forward. For a mine, this place seems well built up. Perhaps it will serve as a camp if war comes. Let's try the door handle. You try the door. It opens. The room beyond is dirty with soot from the mines, so it could almost be a pit filled with night itself, with crystals in the rocks for stars. In the far wall you can just make out another door, leading deeper into the mine. But the middle of the room is a table, at which a large filthy goblin is sitting. He raises his head as you enter and smells the air. Perhaps he is almost blind from so long underground. You smell his strange intruder, he challenges. You not permitted here. Let's see, so I could say I'm a friend, which I just killed their ogre. That's probably not very friendly. Draw my sword and see what it says, or leave. Let's do the second option. Be prepared to fight. You draw your sword in reply. The goblin rises to its feet. In his hand he holds a large stone club. I can either engage him or cast a spell. Now I have a spell called Dumb. Causes clumsiness. Let's do that one. Maybe it'll make him drop his weapon. Oh, I can't do it. Let's maybe... Oops. Can I use Raz? Oh, looks like I might be able to use Raz. Let's do that. So, it makes my blades do double. Sharpened blade requires beeswax. Cast. You rub half of your beeswax onto the blade of your sword and raise the spell. The metal begins to glint with razor blade sharpness. You take on the goblin with glee. The monster lumbers forward. I think I want to charge at it. Let's see how much damage this does. Charge! Got attacked the weak point. That did 4 damage. The goblin beats its club into its open palm and paces towards you. Boldly you swing your biting sword of his thick neck as he throws his club with full force towards your skull. The goblin staggers suddenly. You have hurt him more than perhaps you thought. He raises his club across his body defensively. Okay, let's hit him for a small attack. I got flawless fighting. Oh, I did 3 damage. You strike once more with your lethal blade, teasing him with a passing blow, wearing him down. Then the goblin stumbles, and you have him. Your sword pierces right through his neck, and the club drops to the floor. No stamina loss. Flawless fighting. Continue. With the goblin defeated, there is nothing to stop you moving further into the mine. Ooh, we could search the room. Let's search the room first for any treasure. Before you move on, you quickly scour the corners of the dark room in case there is any gold or weapons lying around. You find nothing until you search the goblin himself. He is wearing a silver key on a chain around his neck. You lift it away. Now go onwards. Time to see what more this mine has to offer. Continue. Further into the mines. Oh, I can hear my heartbeat, it sounds like. Maybe we should eat some rations. Sweet. Give me 2 life. Let's see, I can examine the key. Silver key, okay. You open the door onto a pitch black passageway. Let's see. I believe I have a spell that casts light. But I don't think I can cast it. Nah. Oh, let's use sus to see if there's any traps. Cast a spell. There we go. Requires 1 stamina. Sense danger. Cast. Got a trophy for doing so. You cast the spell and begin to get a strong, worrisome feeling that danger lies ahead. A voice inside tells you to turn back. I want to see what's further. But now I know something dangerous lies ahead. Push ahead into the darkness. You push on into the depths of the mine. Dust falls from the low ceiling. Your hand moves over the precarious wooden beams that hold the walls from tumbling in. Then you stumble, but catching a support. The support cracks. A piece of the rock that sees the rock the size of your head tumbles through the gap in the ceiling, narrowly missing your skull. A rain of stone and dust follows. The ceiling is coming apart. Let's push on ahead to avoid the falling rocks. I could run back, but I'm so far in now. You're gripped by an insane idea, racing into the darkness of an unknown mine as the only exit is sealed off behind you. Let's do it. The crashing shafts behind you lends you speed. Then suddenly you gasp as your foot falls to touch the ground below. I'm falling. Oh, I got a spell for that. You begin to drop There can only be moments. Cast a spell. Let's see. Oh, it's F-A-L. Fall. Requires 1 stamina. Float in air. Requires 1 stamina. Cast. You cast the spell and your fall is broken instantly. You float gently to the ground below, landing softly on your knees. Continue. The base of a pit. You pick yourself up and look around. You're at the base of a deep shaft. It's hard to be sure how far you've fallen, but the top is lost but the top is lost in darkness. Still, it's not pitch black down here. A chink of light penetrates from somewhere far away. A crack nearby or a tunnel mouth along the way of, you can't tell. Start walking. Calmly and without delay, you start to walk towards the point of light. It gets larger, but slowly, and your hope lifts with every step. It's definitely a way out. You can see sky beyond. Your hands are running along the tunnel walls to keep you straight. Then the ceiling comes down and you crawl for a few feet. Then you freeze. Your hand is resting on something furry. Okay, the grasp it? This might be some sort of beast or something. Let's pull back. Not sure if I want to fight it yet. You pull back for a moment to see if the furry shape will move, but it stays still, asleep or dead. At any rate, you cannot turn around and go another way. There is no other way to go. I can creep past it if it's asleep, or if it's dead, I can investigate it. It's gonna give me loot, or get me killed, or this could just be a safe way. Let's investigate the thing. You reach out with a thinking that whatever it is at least small. You grip closer on the thing. It's not warm. That's a good sign. And it squashes easily, as if its bones have been turned to jelly. You pull it closer to yourself. You realize you are holding a pair of fur boots. You laugh with relief and quickly scramble the rest of the way along the tunnel to the sunlight. It's an opening. So I got some fur boots. Let's see, items. Other items. Orange skin boots. Okay. Climb out. The climb out of the cave takes several hours, but is worth every moment. When you emerge into cool, fresh air once more, you have escaped with your life. Let's take a moment to examine those boots. You turn the boots over in your hands. You recognize the fur. It is fawn skin. They will be very useful if you head through snowy climbs. Then it's time to get moving. You set off once more, looking for a path to get your bearings in the trees. Okay, further on. The path climbs again, up a low hill. covered over with thick bushes and scrubs that snag at your clothing. Halfway up, you hear a sound, twigs breaking. Let's freeze. You freeze as a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long bushy tail that trails out behind. It growls menacingly. So I can either prepare to attack or try to edge around it. Let's prepare to attack. You will not be able to avoid a confrontation. The creature is a skunk bear, and when it raises its tail, it releases a nauseating odor. The smell that hangs around it is terrible. Let's see. Could be an unintelligent creature. I'm gonna cast Law. If I can. Control non-intelligent creatures. Requires 3 stamina. Cast. You cast the spell and hold your hands in the air. You command the creature to stay where it is. It is not happy, and bellows and snarls at you, but it does not move, and you are able to step easily around it. The path leads down through another valley, and back up another hill. 2 hours passed. I avoided the creature. That is so cool. Although I did take a lot of damage for it. It sounded kinda dangerous. So approach Chris Tanti. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere, a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think that where you will stay. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night of walking will leave you exhausted. But then you see a small village set into the hill. Let's look at it. Smoke rises from the stacks. This must be Chris Tatanti. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is unusually more than just the one street running through the center of town. But it is as though this place, once rich, has had its heart stripped away. Their surroundings, the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue your slow trudge along the path. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sell my gem. Or gems. I got multiple, I think. Yeah, 2 emeralds. Well, let's enter the village. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. You nod back respectfully. Let's look at the people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town, here on the knife edge of the backlands. Let's rest at the inn, if I can. Maybe I can sell them my gem. You stop a passerby and ask for an inn, and they lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. "Are you from the king?" she demands. So I can say, "No, I'm a mere traveler," or "I'm on a mission for the king." I would say, they might think I'm just wandering around for this. If I say this, though, they might think I'm more important. I'll say, "No, I'm a mere traveler." The woman narrows her eyes at you. "This is a guest house, the best in Kristatanti. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it costs me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight, and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends. You do not have enough money for either." They said that my gem was worth 10. So let's go elsewhere. Maybe I can sell it. I'll go elsewhere. She shrugs. Not appearing too upset by your decision, you creep off to the edge of the village. Oh, I can't go back. Dang. Okay, let's go outside. Oh, let's check. I'm just kinda wondering if they can steal from me. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should eat some rations. Oh, but I might be able to rest too. Let's go forward. Outside Kristatanti. The cover of the forest is dark, and the ground is thick with fallen branches, mud and briar. You walk for nearly an hour more, and then you pass a large tree atop a great vista of curling roots. It is a perfect spot to sleep. Let's eat something. You open your bag and pull out quantity of a quantity of your cheese and bread. You feel a little better and more ready for for the long watches of the night. You settle down to sleep. It will not be an uninterrupted night out here under the stars, surrounded by beasts, but you will still feel a little better for it. Sleep. Your dreams are vivid once again. You are walking endlessly, the hills moving up and down under your feet, like a rippling sea. Every step exhausts you, but no step moves you forward. Meanwhile, a tall black creature strides toward you, breathed in a foul-smell smoke, and in the distance a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. Okay, let's go beyond Kristatanti. So have 4 rations. You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry, to leave this place where you have lingered so long. This is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Kristatanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills, and is close enough to the river to be reasonably preposterous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left heads directly off into deep woodland. Ooh, okay. I wouldn't mind trying to get more equipment. Well, I haven't got any equipment really. Oh, besides the shoes, I suppose that is equipment. Try and sell these gems, maybe. Although this is ruined. Huh. Let's go between the buildings. You glimpse a few people at work by the buildings. There will be precious little company on your journey, so you should take it while you can. Approaching a low wall, you see a blind beggar, sheltering in the shade with its hands held outstretched. He hears your approach and clinks his fingers. Alms, would you? For love of Sindla, alms? So I can look at him, say I have nothing to give, or walk on by. Maybe I can give him rations? Let's look at him. The man is sorry sight. He is skinny and sparsely clothed, and his eyes are painted with dark dye to indicate his blindness, for all to see. But you have no money to give him. Please, sir, I wouldn't ask if I didn't need to. Used to be a Gaulier. See? Now don't. Now I don't. See? Please? Let's give him some food. Or can I ask what happened to you? Let's give him food first. Here, you remove a ration of bread and cheese from your bag and give it to him. The beggar nods. You're a kind stranger. Thank you for that. I'll make it last. And he stuffs the bread into his tunic, where it looks like some awful growth. The beggar beams up at you. So I can say, look after yourself, or it won't last. I'll warn him that it won't last. It won't last, you tell him. Good luck. And you prepare to walk away. Wait, he calls. One moment, please. He begins to scramble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually he cries, Aha! He pulls out a copper key, which he holds out to you. I ask, what is that? You ask cautiously. Years ago I lived in Kahari, he explains. Kahari was my home, and in the city port I watched over prisoners in the gaol. Beware the red eyes in Kahari, or my fate will befall you, and you'll be here with me begging for your living. What are the red eyes? Or, yeah, let's ask that. Pray you never find out, is his simple reply. Listen to me, Kahari is wary of strangers, but this key will help you if you be captured by red eyes. Trust old me. As the man talks, you step quietly out of the road, as an ox cart whips past you, raising dust. It does not stop. Let's take the key. You take the key and put it safely in your pack. Thank you, you say, then move on. You follow the path away from the village, for half the morning. The walk is easy. It feels as natural as breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Hard to believe you trained for this journey so long, now that you're on it. You climb a little, tracing the side of a group of trees until you meet a fork in the road. You could continue straight on and upwards, or turn west a little. Okay, let's go straight forward. You continue along the path, climbing. Your legs feel strong and lean. By the end of this journey, you will be built like a mountain goat. The afternoon progresses, long and easy. This place you are walking through seems thick with desolation, as if it was long ago abandoned. And then, as if to confirm your thought, you come across two enormous stone pillars, listing slightly either side of the road. They form a gate, but the gate is 3 times the height of a man. So I can look them over to examine them. Go through, that might be like a portal or something. Or go back. Let's look them over. Peering closely, you make out a faded remains of carved characters in the old script, L and K, the remnant of a spell of fortune, perhaps, or binding of these now fallen stones. Let's go through. There is nothing for it but to go forwards. Continue. Through the gate. You step into the shadow of an enormous gate. The ruins of walls line the path either side, but these walls built from blocks the size of ox carts. Centuries ago, this must have been a place of a king 12 feet tall. Now it has been leveled, and the stones stolen for the build walls and foundations of the village all around. I'll be right back. Okay, continue. So I can investigate the ruins, or continue climbing. Let's investigate. You take a moment to clamber up over the ruins and off the path, until you are surrounded by waist-high grasses. The ground rises and falls sharply around the outlines of houses and buildings. You trace the lines of a street, wide enough to run 3 carts abreast, that leads quickly downhill towards the forest. Once this place was rich and plentiful. What happened here to remove every last trace of these colossal people? Let's look inside. Okay, so I can go back to the path, look inside, or follow the street. Let's look around. You stop by the edge of a house The side wall only stands as high as your knees. Grass nods above it. Looking inside, you can make out the edges of a fireplace, the back wall, and an adjoining area, perhaps a grain store or a bedroom. Let's see. Let's search in the grasses. You take a few moments to search through the long grasses and find nothing, until your hand closes on a clay pot near one wall. Near one wall. It is shape of a wine jug, but about 3 times the usual size. Around the neck is a red stain. Wine? Or maybe blood. It is impossible to tell. The base of the pot has been smashed away, perhaps by age. Perhaps by someone unhappy with the contents. You leave the pot behind. Okay, let's continue forward. Follow the street down. You follow the line of the street down the slope of the hill. The further you go from the path, the more overgrown the ruins become, until you can barely make out the outlines at all. After a while you are not following the street at all, but simply holding to the same line. You approach the edge of a thick woodland. Okay, let's turn back and climb. The path crosses over a low, broken wall and then rises sharply uphill through a pass. After a while you see 2 cave mouths, one to the left of the path and another to the right. So I can go to the right side of the cave. Oops. Or the left side, or carry on. Let's go to the left hand of the cave. The left-hand cave is a little wider at its mouth, but it is also not deep and appears to be empty. Rubble covers the floor along with a few items that suggest someone lived here. A huge broken stool, a net with a wide mesh, and a large human-shaped skull the size of a dog. This place was clearly home to a giant. So I can leave? I might be more safe. Or investigate. I'm gonna investigate, maybe there could be some treasure. Still, by the look of the skull, it seems that giant is long gone, so it should be safe to look around. Okay, let's look at the stool. You pick up the stool. It's made of lower branches of an ash tree, braced together with joint pins the size of your forearm, and before the stool broke, it could probably have borne the weight of several cattle. But it's broken now, and no use to you, and there's no way you can carry it. No way you could carry it far. Let's leave that here. I can take the stool. You put the stool down. Okay, let's look at the skull. Next, you turn your attention to the giant skull. There's no trace of flesh remaining on the bone, and eye sockets are dull and empty. No one has lived in here for a long time. The top of the skull has been knocked about a bit. There's a crack in the top, and most of the teeth are missing. Oh, that might be a weapon. Let's examine the top of the skull. There's a dent at the very top. The giant was probably done in by a mace or a club, or else a falling rock. Examine the teeth. Maybe I can get some giant teeth? There are only 2 teeth left in the jaw. Oh, pry the teeth loose. Use a tip of your sword to pry a couple of the teeth free and slip them into your pack. I believe there's a spell for that. Let's see, there's around here somewhere. It allowed you to like summon a giant. Oh, right here. Y-O-B. Sweet. Okay, let's look at the net. Finally, you look at the net. The squares are so large that a rabbit or deer would be able to run straight through, but they're small enough that you could catch an animal of about your size. Of course, you'd cut your way out of such a trap in a moment. Oh, I can take the net. Let's take it. You roll the net up and put it into your pack. Leave. You've seen enough. You turn to leave the cave. I can explore the right-hand cave. Let's do that. Crossing the path over, you go over to the other cave. There is a faint whistling sound. The wind, perhaps? Go further in. Let's explore the cave. You creep further in. Then a few steps on, you stumble and fall, and as you do so, the whistling stops. To your horror, you realize what you've tripped over is a foot. A giant slowly rubs its eyes and gets to its feet. It hoists up a massive stone club. Oh, let's see, is there a spell I can cast? I doubt it's an unintelligent creature. Let's see, can I use walk? W-O-K, the short spell? No? Can I possibly summon the giant? Let's see. Oh, I didn't write down how much it takes. Oh, it doesn't seem to take any stamina. Sweet. This should help. Let's cast it. You pull out a giant tooth and throw it onto the ground and cast your spell. A plume of smoke rises into the air as if the tooth has set alight, and then out of the smoke steps another giant. The two close with each other, slamming each other with their clubs. The noise fills the valley, and huge waves of dust are kicked up. Oh, so I could run for it, or wait to see who wins. I might be able to get more troll teeth if I can defeat, or if the other giant defeats it. Let's wait to see who wins. The fight is vicious, but ultimately the hill giant knocks the life out of your summoned creature. But not before your champion has done some damage. It will now be up to you to finish the giant off. Okay, let's defend. I'll defend too. With a roar that shakes the rock, the giant swings its club and comes for you, determined to crack open your bones. You raise your sword to cover your body. He raises his club defensively. You circle one another. He raises his club across his body defensively. Okay, let's attack him. A little bit of damage. 1 damage to him. Stilling your courage, you move in, aiming to tap the giant against the cave wall, teasing the giant with a passing blow, wearing him down. He flicks your attack neatly away with his club. The hill giant stumbles suddenly. He is weakening. He beats his club against his palm, readying himself. So I can try and beat his strength. I think I will. This might be dangerous though. Here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, I got him before he hit me. That was close. You strike again, raiding a blow with that could part stone. You hurl forwards, then your sword slips between the giant's ribs, and he falls, gasping his last in a noise like a gushing waterfall. Flawless fighting. Continue. The mountain sides fall silent. Okay, let's search the body. Actually, maybe I should examine before I search. Let's examine. You step over the body. The giant is quite dead. His eyes stare open, and his mouth is wide, mid-roar, showing his teeth. Let's do something about his mouth. Pry loose his teeth. With your sword, you pry loose a couple of giant's teeth. It's bloody work, but you will be able to take them with you. Okay, let's search more. You quickly search the giant's body and find a pouch at its waist, containing 8 gold pieces. It's hard to imagine the giant spending them. Perhaps he was not as dumb as he appeared, or perhaps he liked them because they were shiny and nothing more. You like them too, so you take them. Okay, let's look around this cave. You explore into the depths of the giant's cave to see what you can find. At the back of the room, you find a large loaf of bread. It's too big to carry, but you could eat a little from it. Oh, it could be bad bread. Let's eat it. I could use the health. You tear away the crust with your sword and then eat a few handfuls from inside. It's fairly nourishing, if not pleasant. Leave now. Time to move on. You hurry out of the shadow of the pass. Let's check my inventory. I have 3 giant's teeth now. I did use 1, but that was pretty good. Okay, turn downhill. You crest the rise and continue down the slope on the other side. You pass out through another gigantic gate and into a barren mountainside. Okay, approach the humps. Yeah. The path trips and slides down a steep screed slope and then emerges onto a sun path, as if the forest had been scoped away by a gigantic hand. The river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by the banks stands a tiny, and by its bank stands a tiny village. Ooh, let's enter the village. Maybe we can sell these gems or buy something. Today has been mercifully short and uneventful. You have made excellent progress. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously, so you begin with a gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be the Humps. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. Oops. Okay. Maybe I can talk about the village or explore the town? Let's explore town first. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchant huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 8 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skullcap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. So with the skullcap, I can cast a spell and, know what's gonna happen next, probably. Buy provisions, or examine the sword. Let's examine the sword. Carefully, you lift the long sword from the table and swing it through the air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of sword. I'm sure you agree, the merchant enthuses. 6 gold pieces. Oh, I could pay with the emerald. Let's do it. You hand over an emerald and strap the longsword around your waist. Let's buy some provisions. You examine the bag of food. There is about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says, with a smile. It's good for a traveler, I'm sure. Oh, that's expensive. 2 for 1. With the other hair, it was like 2 food for 1 gold. Yeah, I'll pay for them with money. Actually, yeah. Let's buy him. I'm gonna need him. You pay him 6 gold pieces and add the provisions to your pack. Okay, let's examine the skull cap. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadule. The merchant declares with pride, a fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. You can tell from the feel of the cloth it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells. I think I'll put it back. That's more expensive than, I'll be giving my gem for less money. Not as worthwhile. You shake your head and place the skull cap back on the merchant's table. That's enough. You nod to the merchant. The merchant smiles. Is there anything else I can help you with? So I can ask for a job or an inn. I don't have the money, so maybe I should ask for a job. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed for it. So, sounds like hard work or digging what? Let's do digging what? You ask. The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Does it matter? You'll find out. He stares at you. So? He asks. He looks over his shoulder to the path. I'm going that way myself. You coming? Okay, let's follow the merchant. I have a feeling he's like digging graves. That's why he wouldn't answer. But let's see. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. So I can say, I'm ready to get started, or what is it you need doing? Yes. We already know what we need to do. I'll say, I'm ready to get started. Spades out back, he replies, with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just digging a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one, and it's going to be several hours. And it's going to be several hours working at work that will probably take the whole night. You collect the spade, stuck it in the ground by the hole. I don't know if I have a spell for this. Maybe I can make myself big and just dig it really quick. Let's try that. Can I do it? Maybe I can. Grow in size. Cast. You cast the spell and wait for it to take effect. Then you feel the spade turn from a heavy tool into a mere toothpick in your hand as you swell 3 times your usual size. You have the digging work done in barely any time. Collect my pay. Sweet. I saved myself a whole bunch of time. You go back into the house and collect your money. 3 gold pieces. The grateful householder also provides you with some food, as well as a space on the floor to rest for the remainder of the night. You settle down, happily, and are quickly asleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. It seems as though you wander through doors and hallways built 10, 20 times your height. You are an insect, and the halls over which you walk are the fossils of hair on the shaved chin of giants. Storms of hot, fetid breath seems to sweep across you, threatening to blow you down into hell. Overhead, you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdman came for the crown. Perhaps, before this journey is finished, they will come for you. Okay. It's some pretty good progress, I'd say. I'm enjoying this game very much. Like, this game is a ton of fun. I love the options that they gave you and the choices you have. It is so cool. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you've been enjoying this, please leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below about what you think of the game. It is just amazing. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.